Welcome to the Farmish Kind of Life podcast, where we talk about homesteading stuff and life stuff and everything in between. Join me, Amy Dingman, as we explore big questions on a little farm. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Farmish Kind of Life podcast, where we talk about all sorts of different things. We talk about good things and hard things and difficult things and wonderful things and things that we have questions about. I don't know. We talk about it all. I hope you are having a wonderful day as we are heading towards the end of November. Next week already is Thanksgiving, you guys. How does that happen? I just feel like we get to September and the rest of the year just goes boom. And then we get to February and it seems like time stops. Maybe that's just here because it's so blasted cold here in February and you're tired of seeing snow and you're tired of it being 20 below. And you just want to see some green stuff and some leaves and see dirt. And there we are. We're talking about the weather again. Didn't I talk about this last week? How the default is just to start talking about the weather. What is with that? All right. So if we were on the front porch right now, what would we be talking about? I would probably tell you that I'm a little bit sad right now because I'm thinking about the fact that I have this dog and his name is Cash and he is 13 and a half or 14 years old. I don't know. And I think we're getting to the point where we're going to have to make some decisions. And we are heading into winter. And it's really hard for Cash to get around. The back part of his body is starting to fail. And so it's getting really difficult for him to get up, get downstairs, and to get out of our house. No matter how you go out of our house, you have to go downstairs. And so it's getting really hard for him. Eating, he's still eating, but, not like he used to. And so I think we're getting to that point. And I think winter is probably going to force some of those decisions to come about just because of the nature of him getting around. And that sucks, I dislike it very much. It's one of the less awesome parts of life, I must say. What else would we talk about if we were on the front porch? I would tell you that last week it was Veterans Day. And if you get MeTV, Memorable Entertainment TV. It's one of the channels we get at our house. If you get it, you know that they play all old shows, so like Emergency and Andy Griffith and Perry Mason and stuff like that. And they also play MASH, right? So I watch MASH probably every night while we're eating supper. And I love MASH. I did not like MASH when I was younger, when it would come on TV and I'd be like, oh, this is dumb show about a dumb war with some people and it's not even funny, So I'm like 8 and I don't understand MASH, right? And it's funny because for a long time, I thought MASH was the Vietnam War. It's not. It's the Korean War. That was a slap upside the head when I was much older and realized, wait a second, this is not the Vietnam War. Anyway, so all of that to say, I like MASH. And I've never watched the finale, right? I've never watched that episode. I've probably seen every other episode that there is. But on purpose, I have not watched the finale episode, the 2-hour episode. And apparently, MeTV plays it every Veterans Day, right? And so I decided this year I would be brave and I would watch it. Y'all. When I tell you, I was so dang emotional watching that episode. I was wholly unprepared for what was in that episode, that 2-hour episode, which actually I think is 3 hours when they play it on MeTV because they have all this commentary in between, when they go to commercial break back, when they used to have commercials. But wow, you guys, what an absolutely amazing series. What an amazing finale. What an amazing bunch of writers. I honestly think that Alan Alda, the guy who plays Hawkeye, what an actor. So if we were sitting on the front porch, we'd be talking about the MASH finale. Like, you guys. Now I'm just gushing about a show that ended how many years ago? Like, I think it ended like when I was 3 or something. I don't even know. Like early 80s, I think maybe. I don't know. I should probably look this up before I talk about it. But anyway, what else would we talk about? Let's switch and not be so emotional. Okay, so something else we would talk about. I have a listener to the podcast who has emailed me a few times, and we've been talking about gratitude a little bit, and she keeps a gratitude journal. She writes down things every single day that she is thankful for, blessings that she sees in her life. And she's been doing this for a very long time. And just the other day, she hit her 1,000th entry in this gratitude journal. And she talked to me about how just keeping this journal has really, taught her to look at the good in life and to kind of turn situations around, not in a Pollyanna kind of way where everything's great, but like really looking to see the silver lining. And just, it really changed her focus in life and how she viewed things. And it just changed her perspective. And we were talking about different things. And she said, I would be honored if you would allow me to send you a journal so you could keep a gratitude journal. And I said, that would be fabulous. Yes, I would love that. And she sent me the most beautiful journal. It's like a forest green journal with like a gold lining around it. And it's velvety and leathery. And it's absolutely beautiful. And so I, too, now have been writing down gratitude, pieces of gratitude and blessings and things that I'm thankful for. And just things that I saw in the day that were just, wow. Really just a testament to the goodness that is still out there, the beautiful things that are still out there. And it's so good to do that. I remember doing this when I was younger, when I was in college. So when was that? Like late 90s, I think, when I was in college. And I specifically remember so I think it was on the Oprah show or something. And there was someone talking about a gratitude journal. It was a big thing back then. Someone had written a book about gratitude and was on the Oprah show. And so everybody started keeping gratitude journals. And I remember leaving college, driving home, because I lived at home, and getting up to an intersection, and the light turned green just as I got there. And I remember being so in the state of mind that I was just like so thankful for that. Like I noticed those things. They didn't just pass me by. All those little things that happen all the time, I would notice them and I would just be thankful for them. And you started to notice the good. It's not that you didn't notice the bad, but you also notice the good, which I think is really important, because especially when times are kind of crazy and things feel very negative, it's not that we don't see the negative. It's not that we don't know the bad things are out there, but we still learn to see the good and learn to see the helpers and learn to see the beautiful things and the good things out there. So thank you very much, listener, for this gratitude journal. It's so wonderful. Thank you so much. And y'all should start writing down your blessings. It's wonderful. What else would we talk about on the front porch? Something else we would talk about, since we're on the topic of gratitude, and since oddly enough, Thanksgiving is next week. This is actually not how I plan this to go. Sometimes I don't want to talk about gratitude around Thanksgiving because it almost seems cliche, right? But it just happened to work out that I really felt strongly about talking about this week. So my smartwatch broke a few days ago, and I don't get a lot of notifications to my smartwatch. The reason I have it is because I don't ever keep the sound on my phone. I don't keep the ringer on. I don't keep any of that on because my phone would be making noise all day long, and I don't want to hear that. And so I got a smartwatch at one point, and I just set it so text. I can't even talk today. Text, TEXTS. Yes, those things, they would come to my smartwatch. And so people knew if they really needed to get a hold of me, they should text me, because that would come to my smartwatch. So the kids knew that, family members knew that, close friends knew that. And it broke. And so I was missing text messages, which is not good, because, those are the important things that come through. And so I thought, I have to buy a new smartwatch. And so what did I do? I went on Amazon. I looked for a smartwatch, which I had no idea they could be $900. Like, what is that? No, I'm looking for one that's like $30 or $40, you guys. I don't need anything fancy. So I go on there, I find one that I like that will do the minimal things that I want it to do, and I order it. And it occurred to me, I didn't even really have to think about that too hard. I didn't have to struggle with that decision. I didn't have to think, I wonder how much it's going to cost. I'm going to have to figure out how to pay for that. No, I just went on Amazon and I bought it. I ordered one, and then I waited for it to come, and I set it up, and it's on my wrist right now. And it's wonderful because now I'm getting text messages again. I say this because I've been thinking a lot lately about perspective and how sometimes, we're always going through stuff, right? We're always going through difficulties. There's always some kind of struggle. And we move past that struggle into other ones, but we forget that we have moved out of certain struggles, right? So like sometimes I will be in the grocery store and I'll be looking at all the prices of all the foods and I'll be complaining and saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe things are so expensive. This is so ridiculous, rah, rah, right? But then I realize I'm pushing a cart full of food that I can pay for. Like, yes, it's expensive, and yes, it's stupid. And yes, I have to be like, okay, well, I'm not going to buy this one because I don't really need it. Okay. But the point is I have food in my cart and I'm pushing it to the register to pay for it, and I can pay for it. I don't have to think about it. And there was a time in our life where that was not the case. I would be walking those grocery store aisles thinking, I've only got X amount of dollars. And, okay, so I need to make this last. So how are we going to do this? And like mentally doing the math of every single thing I was buying because I needed to stay under a certain dollar amount because that's all that was in the checking account. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't have to do that anymore. There's enough wiggle room that I can go to the grocery store when I need groceries and just buy them. We lose perspective on that, right? I was thinking about how we just got our, you know how they redo your mortgage statement every year, your mortgage payment every year, you know, depending on what you have in escrow. And sometimes your mortgage payment goes up. Well, it went way up this year. We got that statement, I don't know, a couple months ago. And so I'm like, oh, this is so stupid. Like it went up a decent amount of money, not a couple bucks, a decent amount of money, like $150 or something. And that's because of insurance, not because of property taxes. But I was mad about it, like I was frustrated about it, but I forget that there was a time in our life where any bill going up, any amount of money was super stressful, and it would have, in some cases, really, really wrecked us because there wasn't any margin to play with at all. And I've been thinking about that in a lot of different situations lately. There's things that I worry about now. There's things I have to deal with now. But there's other things I don't have to worry about anymore. It's not that life isn't hard now, because it is. There will always be things that are difficult. It's not like I'm rolling around on piles of Benjamins, you know, because there's like so much extra money. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I think we lose perspective on where we are right now and where we've been and maybe how we were helped along the way, who helped us along the way. Situations that moved us forward. I think we lose perspective on that. And I don't want to make this about like the glitzy buzzword of gratitude. I think we've all gone through hard seasons. And I'm not just talking about money. You know, there's lots of difficulties we go through in life, and then we move out of those and we sometimes forget we were in them. Not that we're not thankful that we're not in them anymore, but we just we lose perspective that we were even there because we're dealing with new issues. And I think it's good to have that perspective because, you know, it reminds us we've been places and that we shouldn't forget that we've been places. But to flip that a little bit, I think any of the difficult issues that we are going through now, they're also going to pass. And then someday we'll be thinking, oh gosh, remember when we were dealing with that and I'm not dealing with that anymore. And you just have that moment of, oh, okay. That realization that you're moving forward. There's always going to be stuff to deal with, obviously. This is Earth and this is life and we are humans and that's not going to change, right? But I think having the perspective to say there are things that I don't struggle with anymore that I used to. And taking a moment to just sit with that. It's powerful to sit in the grocery store and be like, I'm craving eggnog. And you look at the price. I don't know why I thought of eggnog. Maybe secretly I'm craving eggnog right now. I don't know. But, you know, you decide, I'm having a craving for that. And you don't even look at the price maybe. Where maybe 15 years ago, you never would have bought anything without mentally doing the math. Do I have enough money to buy this? And again, there's a million, ways that this comes to play. It's not just money, but that was just ones that I have been thinking about lately, where I need to remember that we're moving forward and we are blessed in many ways, even as we are struggling with other things. So that's what's on my mind today. So that's what I would be talking to you about if we were sitting on the front porch. And I don't know, at some point we might have to move inside because eventually there will be snow. We had snow last week, but it didn't stay very long, but this is Minnesota, so it will come and it will stay. And we might have to sit in my cozy living room where nothing matches, but there are quilts everywhere. So you can cuddle up with a quilt and probably a dog or two. And yeah, we could just enjoy conversation. So I think that's all I have to say today. So I'm going to shut this down. But thank you so much for coming back once again to listen to me babble about whatever's on my mind. This week, maybe spend some time thinking about the things that you have moved past, that maybe you've kind of forgotten, that you don't have to deal with them anymore. Maybe start writing down some of those blessings, looking for the good, looking for the helpers, looking for the beautiful things, looking for the things that just happen to work out. That doesn't mean that there's not also things that suck, because this is Earth and that's what happens, but trying to focus a little bit more on the good, even if it's just 2% better. I don't know. Trying to focus on the sparkly parts, even if you have to look for the sparkle, because I promise you those things are out there. All right. Have a great week, you guys. Talk to you soon. Hope you enjoyed the show today. To continue the conversation, visit our website at afarmishkindoflife.com, find A Farmish Kind of Life on social media, or drop me an email at amy@afarmishkindoflife.com. Peace, love, and bacon, y'all. Stay farmish.